This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
Hello, everybody. This is Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio, and it is May 20th. So I know a lot of you have just congratulated graduates from graduating college with their bachelor's, master's, and PhDs, and even associate's degrees. And, congratulations. Welcome to a new, interesting, exciting phase of your life and world. So good for you. And it's also close to high school graduations. And so congratulations to the graduates across the country. I know that everyone's pretty excited about this new adventure in life. It's also Skincare Awareness Month. So if you don't already, go to the American Cancer website, and it'll have a thing for skincare, and there's ABCDs of what to watch for different, freckles and different things that just to make sure for skin exposure and such. You want to get that checked because I actually had a surprise last year. I had a melanoma. It's not enough going on in the world, and ended up having a melanoma on my back. Luckily, we caught it very early, so the procedure they did was able to get it the first surgery, which is nice. But I would recommend making sure you go in every year to your dermatologist and make sure that they check you out and see if you got anything concerning, what to watch for. It's also asthma month, which seems weird because it's May. You'd think there'd be more asthma month awareness in the fall when it's colder, but needless to say, asthma is a year-round thing, so be sure and be checking with your doctor, make sure you're doing okay on that. And it's also National Foster Care Month, which is something that's very near and dear to my heart, as our younger two. We got them, they walked through our front door 9 years ago this month, and we were able to adopt them 6 months later. So believe me, if anybody has any questions about foster care, please ask them. There's a group called Together We Rise, and there's plenty of other sources, really good, reliable sources about foster care. Or you can shoot me an email at patricia@patriciawfisher.com, and I'm glad to answer any questions you have or send you in a direction of those who know far more than I do. But we also, in this month, there's tons of books to read, and we are lucky to have an amazing author she's coming back. She was here not too long ago, and she's come back to talk to us again. So Laura Heffernan is the award-winning internationally best-selling author of fun, witty, romantic comedies and more serious women's fiction. After a few years of practicing law, she realized she much preferred arguing with her characters rather than real people, which is, you're always going to win if you argue with characters. Somewhat. It's easier to win that way when not watching total strangers get married, drag racing queens, or cooking competitions. Laura enjoys board games, travel, board games, baking, and board games. And she lives in the Northeast with her husband and the world's most active toddler and two furry little beasts. Some of Laura's favorite things include goat cheese, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Battlestar Galactica, the Oxford comma, and ice cream. And mind you, the Oxford comma is in there in her list that she sent to me just now, not altogether. And the best place to find her is on Twitter, where she spends far too much time tweeting about writing, Canadian chocolate, board games, and reality TV. Her latest release, Sightseeing, is out now, and you can find Laura at her website, Facebook, Goodreads, Twitter, Amazon, and BookBub, and all those links are in the write-up of the show. Welcome, Laura. How are you, my dear?
Thank you. Oh, that is quite a mouthful. I'm listening to all that. Thinking, wow, my bio's getting long.
It is, and I'm always grateful for coffee in those situations, like we were talking about before the show started. Is like coffee's always the magical fruit there. So we always appreciate coffee.
I have a full mug right here, and
yes.
It's exactly what I needed. So thank you for having me back. I had a really good time last time I was here.
Yeah. I think we had
going back to our conversation, and apparently it was around election night, so we were a little stressed. But
we were.
Oh, how times have changed.
It has, and I have talked to a bunch of different people, and I'm going to keep it as on the surface as possible regarding a political thing, but I have to say, a lot of people I've talked to who were just, diametrically opposed to what I would vote for, a lot of people are like, things are kind of going back to normal, and people are, it's not too bad. That's okay. We'll give it a try. So really, that's what you kind of help for is everyone kind of settles down a little bit and sees that there's different ways to do things. So that's always good.
I am in a new house. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I said,
No worries.
I'm in a new house since I last talked to you. I have a new identity.
Yes. Yes. So I see that new identity, and I was looking at it. So tell me about your new identity here.
So Ada Bell is a mystery author. She writes paranormal cozies. It really dates back to when I was a little kid, and my mom used to watch Murder, She Wrote with me every Sunday night, followed by Matlock, possibly not on the same day. I don't remember.
Right.
But we watched all of that. My school library had, I think, 4 or 5 Nancy Drew books, and I would go every day and check out one, and I just kind of rotated because I love the Nancy Drew. I get the Bosley twins. I get all those. Trixie Belden, and then one day I found out they were all written by the same person, and that really changed my worldview, but that is a different story.
Right.
Yeah, the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Trixie Belden, all the same person. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just blew your mind. I'm sorry.
Well, it's fun to see those mysteries, and although it's interesting because like Murder, She Wrote, people are like, oh, it's really lighthearted, and you think, yeah, but people die every episode. It's like, it's not. Oh, okay, sure. It's not bloody, it's not. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, I'm writing light, funny books where people die.
Yes, it does happen. That's for sure in real life. I used to like, what was that? Dick Van Dyke had one. He was like a doctor. I'm trying to remember. I used to love that show. Trying to remember. And then, yeah, I really liked that show. It was Mark Sloan. It was Dr. Mark Sloan. His son was in the show with him, Barry, and it was like on Friday nights or something for a while. So, but it was similar to like Murder, She Wrote.
But I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to Google it here in a minute. But it was fun. I mean, it was in the medical field, obviously, so you had a little bit of a different angle on it. But it was kind of like, Quincy was the medical examiner, and that was with Jack Klugman during the 70s. And then, then you had Murder, She Wrote, and then, what were some others? But a lot of it wasn't as twisted of a story as Agatha Christie's, growing up, but it was definitely something to solve. So, keep people guessing, pulling that thread of who did it.
Right. My favorite part was always figuring out the answer.
Right.
I liked Encyclopedia Brown for that reason, because you could skip to the back and find the solution.
Yes, I will admit I may have done that once or twice.
So all that stuff. I love all those mysteries. And about a year ago, actually before COVID hit, around the same time, I started doing murder mystery puzzles. I discovered those. So you get a puzzle, and you actually, some of them, there's no picture on the box. You don't actually know what the puzzle's going to look like. But then there's a story in there, and you read the story, and somebody dies in the story, and then you put it together. You put the puzzle together, and then the answer to the mystery, if you don't skip ahead, the answer to the mystery is in the puzzle. So I was doing a bunch of those, and it just I think that kind of helped me realize like how much I love all that stuff, all the puzzles. So writing mysteries is just a different kind of puzzle than reading them, because I have to
for sure
make it tricky and think about it.
When you're writing it, I guess everybody goes through when they're writing a mystery, and it's just like any story is, well, this is going to be totally obvious. But then it's not. I mean, how do you navigate that?
I do have that issue. I have a friend that I will send her all of every book, and I say, okay, is the murderer really, really obvious? And also, is it completely out of left field? And her response is always, it can't be both those things, right? But as an author, that's what we worry about.
Right. Yeah.
One thing I've tried is not deciding in advance who the murderer is. So I try to write it so there are multiple plausible characters.
Sure.
I am not a plotter. I keep a very detailed spreadsheet of what I've already written, but I usually don't plan stuff in advance. So that helps. If I don't know who the murderer is and I need it to look like it could be A, B, C, or D, then that helps a little. But I do have readers tell me, like, okay, well, on page 12, I thought it was this person. I say, okay, well, that's not good. So I need to either change what happened on page 12 or make the killer somebody else.
Right. Well, I was talking to my kids last night about TV and these different crazy cliffhangers that people used to do, because, and I think we were watching Arrested Development or something, and they were like, no, don't end it on, because we had just finished season 1, and they're like, no, we can't. I'm like, it's 8:00, go to bed. But we were talking about cliffhangers, and I said one of the biggest ones growing up for me was Who Shot JR, and I was trying to explain to them how this played out, and it was just like people were talking about it for months, and it was funny because the idea, and I'm sure you have it in your books too, is, oh, well, the first person that gets arrested, well, it's not them. So when Sue Ellen gets arrested, everyone's like, oh, well, she didn't do it then. Everyone had been guessing all summer, and it's like, oh, no, it's not her then. So yeah, it was very interesting to. Oh, no worries.
We were
talking about those cliffhangers. Right. But, yeah, we were talking about those cliffhangers, and then my daughter, my oldest, said, was that the same show that like they killed somebody and then they brought him back after like he was in the shower the whole season? I was like, yes, it was terrible. People were so mad.
I thought it was a dream. He was in the shower?
Yeah, it's a dream. I said, well, they at least could have put him in like a coma or something, make it interesting, like she'd been in a coma, worried about it all the time. But no, she was just asleep. It's like, oh, come on, guys. So, but, this is maybe why I'm not a TV writer. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that's that weaving of the story and who's doing what. Do you find that when you go through your first draft and you've gotten it all kind of flushed out, because you've got 3 books under Ida Bell right now, and you've got a 4th coming out in December, you get to the end, and then you start adding the little nuggets of information, or are you able to just kind of flow through it and you know decently well how you're going to plant those little clues?
No, I always need to go back and plant the clues. Okay. Sometimes I need to change the clues completely. The sightseeing that I actually changed, I rewrote the ending from scratch like 3 times. So then I had to go back and change lots of stuff. I had breadcrumbs pointing at things that weren't there anymore.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, you have to like double check and triple check yourself to make sure you haven't sent them in the wrong direction. Obviously you have the red herrings, but I mean, you don't want to send them too far off. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why do a different pen name for the cozies versus your regular name for the others?
I spend a lot of time trying to decide what to do. One reason is just that my romantic comedies are largely traditionally published, and so I have that separation. Oh, I see. But the cozies too, it's just easier. You have a separate newsletter, so the people who only want to hear about the mysteries only hear about the mysteries, and the people who only want to hear about the rom-coms only hear about the rom-coms. So that was a lot of it too, and some of it just has to do with Amazon's algorithms. If you go to buy a mystery, you don't want to see that everybody who bought it also bought kissing books. You want to see other mysteries they read.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it keeps that clean. I mean, my mom always is going to mess that up. Thanks, Mom. I love you. But I get the weirdest also bots when she is, and that's fine.
Right.
But in general, it does help to have people who like mostly that genre as the ones who show up. So the fact that.
Wow. I didn't even consider that. Yeah, because if you like, oh, she writes this too? Well, let me throw this down, Okay. So keeping that separate. And I guess, too, it's just a different reading demographic. I mean, like you're saying, they're going for the cozies because they know exactly what to expect out of a cozy. So just a little bit of a difference. Now, so you've got this character. How did she come about? How did you create your main character?
She just kind of came to me. I don't even really know where Allie first originated. Probably taking long walks early in the pandemic when that was all we could do.
Yeah.
But she kind of revealed herself to me over time. Like at first I was just thinking about, what if somebody could touch objects and see things? And, what if she doesn't believe in any of that? And it kind of went from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a bit younger just because that tends to be, seem to fit her. I almost feel like I don't think of my characters, I meet them. Like she revealed herself slowly to me and that's who I found.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because people who don't write fiction or what have you, I've had so many conversations with fiction authors and saying, well, the characters will tell me, they'll talk to me, they'll do these things, they'll reveal themselves like you're saying. And people who don't write that, they just look at you like, do you need help? It's like there's something we don't know. And it's that, no, they do. They slowly will tell you who they are. Probably at times that you can't write anything down.
Right. Usually when you're in the shower or driving. I find that those
driving,
are when
right.
I get most of them. At least now, thanks to technology, I can use Siri to leave notes for myself while driving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty funny to read them sometimes later because what Siri writes down is often not remotely related to what I thought I was saying.
Right. Yes, the computers are going to take over the world. So much for, voice text recognition. It's like, that's not what I said. But yeah, I think it's fun to come up with these new characters and have them create these little nuggets of themselves each book, and to see what's going on. So tell me, you've got these 3 books right now that are out, and the first one's free, correct? The Shady Grove Psychic Mystery, the first one, Mystic Pieces?
It is free through June 1st.
Okay.
So just the timing, it happens to be free right now. I decided to do that to celebrate book 3 coming out. So then I'll probably make it free again around the time book 4 comes out.
Okay. So you have Mystic Pieces, and you have the Scary's the Limit.
The Scry's the Limit.
Thank you. That's my dyslexia kicking in. I couldn't pronounce that. And now you have Sight Searing, which is out now, and that just came out Monday.
Yep.
Okay. So how many books do you anticipate you're going to write for this? You're just going to keep writing as long as she talks to you?
Hopefully, yes. Currently, I have 5 books planned out.
Okay.
And then I have a couple of ideas beyond that. And so it'll...
Okay.
I mean, the next one's not coming out till the end of the year. So I assume that by the time I finish book 5, I will have more ideas. But I have 5 really set up as like a package. So we have the murder of the week, right?
Sure.
The big mystery that Allie's solving, but there's also the overarching backstory mystery where she's trying to solve the death of her sister-in-law.
Okay.
So my intent is that will be resolved in book 5.
Okay.
So that's it almost creates almost like a TV series, right? Like this is like season 1. And then in book 6, we would try and, ideally I would bring in another big mystery to oversee everything. And then,
right.
And that would be like another 4 or 5 books. I feel like that's where you see that I just watch too much Buffy because they always have the big villain who takes over the whole season and then the monsters of the week that they're fighting.
Right.
But I also really like that setup. I like the way one book will lead into the next because of the stuff. Like Allie's learning about her powers, and every time she learns about her powers, that helps her figure out a little bit more about what happened to her sister-in-law.
Right. Right. And just peeling back those layers for sure.
Right.
Well,
it
and
but it's
you're right.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, so you've got all this stuff going on. How do you keep it organized? Like, do you have a spreadsheet? Do you have like notes everywhere? I mean, how do you keep the consistency going?
I actually have a spreadsheet and notes everywhere. So I have
okay.
I have just a document where I just throw stuff down. And part of that is because, like, if I'm out walking, I can use, like, voice recognition to speak and hopefully come up with something that I will remember later.
Sure.
Or sometimes, like, if I'm on the treadmill, I can just type in some notes. So I have that.
Nice.
And then I have the multi-tab spreadsheet with everything. It's got all the characters. It's got descriptions of all the places, all the blurbs for every book, the blurbs for books I haven't even written yet that I'm hoping to write, what I want to happen. I track when everybody dies because I don't want to forget. I don't want to bring back a character who's gone.
Right. You have to know if there was a body found or not, if they just disappeared, or if there was actual body, because you don't want to bring somebody back who actually died, and yeah.
Right. And how many books has this character been a suspect in? Because I don't want, poor Thelma to be a suspect in every book. Or maybe I do. I don't know.
Right. Right. We don't know. Thelma might be hiding more than we think.
Right. It could be like House, where they always think it's lupus and it never is. Like, but you don't know. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Right. So yes, I have. Of course, now I'm looking for the spreadsheet and I can't find it, which is probably concerning. But it is very impressive. It is the most in-depth spreadsheet I've ever created because I'm generally not a plotter. I usually just let it flow. Right.
Well, and I mean, but with series, it's just there's no avoiding it. I mean, you just can't keep track of. I mean, I can't, and then I know there's people that do. I remember going to RWA conference years ago in Atlanta, and Beverly Jenkins and Brenda Jackson did the presentation, and both of them have written these huge series, right? Multi-generational, back into the 1800s up to present day and everything. And they talked about their process, and both of them had very different processes. But Brenda said even that slips through sometimes because, she'll have she knows exactly who your characters are, and then something in book 3 and then book 8, she's changed an eye color or something, just something very innocent. And she says readers know. She said it made it through like her editor, copy editing, everybody and her, and then it got to print, and then readers were like, no, he has green eyes. And it's like, oh, crap. So, that needs to... Right. Oops,
no big deal.
So it was interesting how people keep track. Do you use just like Excel, or do you use OneNote? Or I'm asking because I'm trying to figure out for myself how to organize my stuff. So I'm
a Mac girl, so I use Numbers, but that's just their version of Excel that comes free.
Right.
Theoretically, I would probably use Google Spreadsheets if I didn't have a Mac because I can access it from any device.
Yes.
Although, maybe you could do that with Excel. I don't know. I'm sure you probably can. But I think Google Sheets is supposed to be a little bit easier. And I tried Trello to keep for scheduling stuff to keep me on track. Last year, I think in December, I sat down. Not last year, at the end of 2019, I sat down and I plotted out everything I was going to do in 2020 and every book I was going to put out and all the things. And I had checklists and it was beautiful. And can you believe that most of that didn't wind up happening?
Crazy stuff. Well, I've done that before too, and had this really brilliant day of productivity of everything's organized, blah blah blah, and then 10% of it happened. But I think that for writer brains, you have to get that out. You just have to have this burst of productivity and to know in what direction you're planning to go, maybe, and then you can get it all on paper, and then it's like, okay, now I can do what I actually plan to do. I don't know.
Sometimes I need to just be able to say, okay, by May 31st, X has to be done. Because sometimes if I don't have a deadline, guess what? It's not happening. But then I created it all, and I did the same thing with ClickUp. I like Trello. I don't know why. Because Trello doesn't let you do due dates anymore. Which that's the thing that gets me here. But it was the same thing. I went in, I set it all up, and I made it all beautiful, and I have not logged in probably 2 weeks.
Okay. Well,
Which,
you know it's there, though, and that's
Monday,
good.
You would think with the release on Monday, though, I would really be looking at my productivity and to-do list, but no.
Well, let's talk a little bit about a book you wrote called Anna's Guide to Getting Even. It's been nominated for a Roan Award for Best Audiobook. So tell us a little bit about that one, because that book was released last year, right?
Yes, I released that at the beginning of last year, and the audiobook came out in the very end of March, same time as the book, around the same time. That's women's fiction about a woman whose ex posts nude pictures of her online.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so it's about revenge porn. It's not light and fluffy. It's pretty dark. It's very different than a lot of my other stuff. But it was, I was just in a place when I wrote it, and that was, things I was thinking about and just things that happen in the news. You get influenced by stuff all around you. So. But so Anna is not really happy with what happens, and she loses her job because image is really important, and so a lot of bad things happen, and then it's about how she fights her way back. And I found the most amazing narrator, Raquel Beatty, and I just got so lucky to have her. I was lucky. I got a lot of very good auditions, actually, and I was worried how I was going to choose, and then Raquel's came in at the end as I was about to make my decision. I heard about 4 words. I thought, oh, this is it. She's Anna. There was no question once I heard her voice.
Right.
So I was excited that In Detail liked the book, but the fact that they loved the audiobook and the narration just made me even happier, because I thought that Raquel did such an amazing job, and I'm really glad she's getting that recognition. For sure. The voting is now, all the books that were nominated came out in 2020. So they announced it, I think, in March.
Right.
And the voting is open all week.
Okay.
I think for this particular book, if the book wins, I think the award is actually going to be in Raquel's name, which is pretty cool. Because like I said, she took a book that I'm very proud of and made it just something that I think is incredible.
Wow. So it's one of those things I think that I was talking about with my kids, and my oldest is about to go off to college, and we've talked about this a lot about be very mindful of what you post online, because when I was in college, thank God for the fact that people didn't have cameras everywhere, because you do stupid stuff. I mean, you're young and you're figuring your life out, and you do stupid things, but now it's just like it's imprinted forever, and you just for someone to get mad at you and put awful pictures of you that were supposed to be intimate and private. I mean, that's just, it happens. It happens all the time.
People make websites for it, and it's such a betrayal.
Yeah. It's amazing to me how low people will go to hurt someone else. It was always like that already, but now we have this whole other layer or level of disgusting, basically. And, of course it says something awful about the person who posted it, but nobody's thinking about that if it's 2 or 3, 4 levels away from that. They're just seeing the pictures. So
many people put the blame on the woman who let the pictures be taken, and that's not what it's supposed to be about. They've been doing nude paintings back to the Dark Ages, since they found paint and charcoal or whatever. That's not new. It's just the sharing. Yeah.
And the way, I mean, again, it's part of marketing. It's like how it's presented. So, she was blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, that doesn't mean you do that, or even him, and there's whole, we were talking to our Girl Scout troop, and we're saying, look, there's people that when you go apply for a job, they Google you. They look you up to see what kind of imprint you have on the internet. And if you've got something, you may be the best candidate for the job. But if you've got a bunch of weird stuff on your Instagram, they're not going to hire you. So it almost seems a little bit unfair in the sense of we all, like I said, we all do stupid stuff, and you should have a private life and a business life. But it was just easier to hide the private part now, and now it's just not. Even if you wore a
post it
bikini
on Instagram.
Right. Like, even if you like to nude sunbathe in your backyard and you're posting, great day to nude sunbathe, you're not bothering anybody. But if you have someone that's going to hire you and they see that you posted it, they're probably not, they may or may not be interested in hiring you. So, it seems like that level of privacy has just kind of been stripped away. But again, it's like people are hungry for the knowledge. And so I think a lot of people have to realize that not everybody needs to see your business. So,
it's definitely a balancing act.
Mm-hmm.
I know so many.
So when
people
you were writing,
go ahead.
Go ahead. You said
so many people are surprised. Like they'll post pictures of themselves on Facebook, like smoking pot, and they're surprised that they get fired or something. Or people who even post. I think people say really terrible things about their employers on their Facebook or Twitter, and then get surprised when they're fired. It's like, well, they can see that. Your Facebook friends with your boss, people, they don't think about it though. You have to think about it now. I'm so glad that wasn't a thing when I was younger. I was pretty stupid.
I think we all are, and clueless, and there's definitely a difference between clueless and stupid. But I know there's been a lot of screaming for a few years about, and even before, but more so in the past few years about First Amendment rights, and it's like, yes, you have the right to say what you want, but that doesn't mean you're free of consequence of what you say or post or, whatever, tattoo on your body. You can say those things, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to agree with you, and there are consequences to it. Right. So, yeah, so it's very interesting, the power of the word and how that plays. So, you go from you've had these really cozy mysteries, and then you go to this really, like you're saying, this darker topic. How did you juggle that mentally? Did you write all the way through one and then you're done and then you go to the next one? Do you go back and forth between projects? How does that work for you?
I am usually juggling multiple projects at the same time, and sometimes it's actually easier. I'm having a rough day to go to the darker project and then come, because sometimes you're just really not in the mood to write jokes or kissing. But I wrote Honest Guide actually a few years ago. It was sitting for a bit, going through revisions and stuff while I just decided what to do with it, because I do have some traditional books, and there's always decisions to be made which direction to take things in. So I think when I wrote that, I don't remember if I was working on anything light and fluffy. I feel like there's actually a progression where my books got a little bit darker, a little bit darker, a little bit darker, and they get really light again.
Right.
But it's all about what's influencing me, what I'm feeling, what's going on at the time. To some extent, I think the mysteries may have just come about because, I was locked in the house for several months with a small child, and you start feeling stabby, and so you want to write it down.
Yes.
You need a healthy outlet for the feelings of rage that come with that situation.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely bordering on insanity for sure. But that outlet is huge. And what is the feedback you've gotten from your readers about that particular book, Anna's Guide to Giving Even?
I've gotten some really good feedback from it. The Roan or the Indie Tale review was amazing, and that made me really happy. But even friends of mine have said that they thought it was the best book I've written.
Nice.
So that's always
nice.
They are my friends, so. But
sure.
I usually don't go to my friends and say, "Hey, what's my best book?" Because I don't want to put them in an awkward position of saying, "Well, I don't read your book."
Yes, right.
I know some readers who,
plus if they go, let's see, which one is your favorite? And you're like, yeah, you didn't read them. And that's okay.
So I try not to do that. But I do.
Right.
So I know that some readers skipped it because it is darker. I actually told my mom not to read it, although I think she did.
Okay.
She didn't comment on it. I don't think my mom would approve of revenge porn. Well, I don't approve of revenge porn. It's a bad thing. But you know what I mean? So I did tell her not to read it because it is pretty dark. So I think it's just up to the reader to see what their tolerance level is. I think if people who enjoy my writing and are okay with darker topics will enjoy it. I try and put some humor in there, like with anything, But it gets dark, and then you tell a joke, and you pull it back a little bit. Because I personally, if I put out a book, I'm going to read it a good 15 times. So
sure.
I need some levity in there just for my own sake.
Oh, for sure. I mean, everything can't be completely dark. I mean, there's got to be, even when you watch any sort of darker movies, there has to be a point of shift. You can't stay in that dark place the whole time. You just want to...
Right. Even horror movies make you laugh.
Sad and depressed, yeah. So yeah, I think the juggle would be interesting. But you definitely have to be in the mood to write that, like you're saying. So that outlet is good. So you've got a few different series. So if people are wanting something interesting, so you've got the Push and Pull series, women's fiction. You've got the Gamer Girl series, Oceanic Dream series, Reality Star series, and then you've got a flash fiction, and then this is all under the Laura Heffernan umbrella, and then you've got your Ada Bell series with your cozy mysteries and our paranormal mysteries. So there's a variety of reads there for anybody who wants it. What is if you're working on the fourth book for the Ada Bell series, what other projects do you have rolling?
I am re-releasing the Reality Star series, so that's taken up a bit of time. I got new covers for all of them, which are just adorable, and I love them so much that I want to print them on my walls. But so I've been rereading those, just not making major changes, but just looking for typos, because if you're going to reformat them, you might as well make sure that they're as error-free as you can get.
Sure.
And I found some funny things, like in one of them, the main character says, well, nobody wears a watch anymore, and it's just because I wrote them before Apple Watches came out. So I was like, I'm going to cut that line. Because and I'd completely forgotten that was in there. It was a throwaway line, but it didn't work anymore. I'm almost done with that. I'm working on a couple more Allie books, and then I have a Royals rom-com that I've been working on that I'm hoping will be coming out soon.
Okay.
Then I've got a book that's been sitting on the back burner for a while. I call it the anti-romance. It's more of an honest look at first love, but it is light, but it's not a romance. That's women's fiction, and that will probably be coming out this year. A lot depends on what is happening. My son is about to start preschool all day, and that's going to open me up so much for so many things I want to work on that I haven't been able to get to in the past 3 years.
It's amazing, the brain power that sucked away. I mean, if you don't say, everybody's got their own thing, but it's truly impressive. You were an attorney before becoming a mom, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Yeah.
I have my license.
Right, and you still are, exactly. And so, but I don't think. I was a trauma nurse, and my husband was a pediatrician, and so we had done lots of overnights, late nights, lots of hours on call. You've done the same, reading and presenting and getting ready for cases and everything else. But I don't think I have ever been so exhausted than I was the first year my kids were born. You really figure out how little sleep you can get by and still function. Now, do you function well? Well, I think it's just like your baseline, like lizard brain function. But yeah, it's amazing how exhausted you are. Like beyond tired. So yeah, it's a whole different set of challenges for sure.
One of my friends said that the reason she had 2 kids is because she was so tired that she forgot how tired she was the first one. Like, you're literally so tired you can't form short-term memories, and you don't know how exhausting it is. I mean, she loves her kids; they're great kids, but I understand that feeling.
Yeah. I remember. You're up at all these weird hours, and so I found out how often Three's Company was on TV Land. That was one of the things I discovered. It's on all the time. That's what the answer is, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because, you know, when they're first born, you're up a lot, and you are able to, like, function in those tiny hours. I think I figured out how tired I was at about 6 months because they start to sleep longer. Like, they really start to, like, consistently sleep more, or at least mine did. And you get a little bit more sleep. Right. And then you get a little bit more sleep, and then you realize how exhausted you are. Because you've been just basically running on fumes that whole time, and then you get that little, and you're like, oh my God, I've been driving a car.
One thing that hit me was when I realized I'd actually run out of books to read because he was up all night nursing, and so I was reading. You know, you can't sleep while nursing because that's unsafe, and also I just wouldn't, you know. So I would read on my Kindle, and I was going through like a book and a half a night. Like you're up all night. I really I reconnected a lot with my best friend who lives in California. We didn't get, you know, the time difference is less when you're both up all night with your small children.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, it's just a different part of the brain that you're using too. But now that you are getting this a lot of time, it will shift. I do know that the first day that we had 2 at the time, and when I took the younger to kindergarten, I walked out of the house and kind of sat in my car, and I just started crying because I thought, okay, great, it's going to be awesome. She's going to be at school. They're going to be at school. It's going to be wonderful. And then I sat in my car and just burst into tears. It's like, what do I do? And so I texted my brother who had gone through it, and he's like, okay, I want you to go get yourself a cup of coffee. You're going to be fine. It's like, yes, you're right. So yeah, it was just definitely an adjustment, but you make it really well. It's like, oh, right. So now I have this day I can sleep. So I anticipate that you'll probably be putting out 4 to 6 books a year now because you're just like cranking it.
I mean, hopefully that was actually the plan for 2020. I had some backlist that was going to fill that out too. So that was the plan. He started preschool initially in mid-January, which turned out was really bad timing because he went for a few weeks. Yeah. But so I remember on his first day, I was leaving, and my husband said, "Don't get a speeding ticket on your way out of the parking lot."
Right. Yes.
I did not.
Slow down to 30. Yeah, I know. And we do. You love your kids, but yeah, you need the break. So yeah.
Yeah, you need that time to be an adult human, and not just a mom.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good point because you don't stop being all the things you were before, even though the title of mom takes over, but you're still all the things you were before you became mom.
Right. It was really eye-opening for me. I'm in a local moms group, and one day I just posted on Facebook like, "Hey, it is mostly stay-at-home moms, even though I work from home. I kind of fit in there, sort of." So I posted, hey, what did you do before you became a stay-at-home mom? And the answers were amazing. Like, wow, we I don't know what I thought people did before, like they were just hatched as moms. I don't know, but like, you were a physical therapist and a psychiatrist and marketing, and she writes grants for the states and like all this stuff. Like, oh, of course we did. Right?
Yeah.
You get in your mom bubble where you miss all that, and
right.
Me,
and I think
I need to get out of the mom bubble.
Right, and I think it's hard because a lot of times I think we have to stay there like 24/7, and it's like you're saying, you're going to use that time to get creative and get your books out. It's fine to step out of that bubble for a while and do what you need to do, and you should. I think it makes you a better parent. When you give yourself your brain back a little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, well, the time went very fast. So,
are we done?
I know we are.
We're talking. You can get back to work.
I know, right? We can both get back to work. So if everybody's been listening, I've been talking to Laura Heffernan, a.k.a. Ada Bell. And Ada has a new book out right now for her paranormal series. And you can find Laura at her website, and you can, Ada has a website, yes? Oh, I think she's done. Okay. So, and I will put all the information and the links in the write-up of the show. The book that is out now is Sightseer, and it will be out. And then I hope Laura comes back and talks to us again near the end of the year, because she's got a ton of stuff that's going to come out this year.
I would love to come back. This has been great.
Oh, yay! So this has been Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio. Everybody, keep on reading.
This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.